What's up? Weekly metal reviews here. Tyler, Zach, Sam, who's about to sit down. This time we did a top 5 guitarists. This time we're going to do top 5 vocalists. So let's dig into it. For number 5, I had Daniel Tompkins of Sky Harbor and Tesseract fame. This guy's vocals are just the most beautiful, elegant, passionate thing I've ever heard. His voice is just so haunting and so unique, and I didn't put him down just because I've been listening to Sky Harbor nonstop over the past couple of weeks. It's just even when I heard him in Tesseract, he blew me away. Like, he's a very amazing vocalist, and he has such a range. When he does his like harsher type vocals, just insane. And then he can do the most beautiful, highs, and just, oh my god, it's amazing.
Alright, my number 5 is Phil from Whitechapel. Basically, I'm sure a lot of people would say this, but his lows are just so, they're just so amazing. He has such a scream worked up, and you can tell he's practiced a lot and just built up a scream that's very original, very guttural and very heavy as fuck. But he puts on, I think he's a good front man. He's vocals, he can do lows as fast as he can, like Possession. First line of that's a great example to show just how doing lows that guttural, that low, and doing them that fast is just ridiculous, and that's why I think he should be on the top 5.
My number 5 is Howard Jones from the band Killswitch Engage. One, because his screams may not be the lowest or the highest, but they have something behind them. Like, this guy puts so much emotion into his singing, and he really just pulls it off. Anything that he sings, I mean, I know clean vocals have been around before core music or anything like that, but this guy is just out of metalcore, deathcore, he's up there with the cleans. This guy, his soulful voice, I think, is probably the most notable thing about this guy. He puts so much into his singing, and he has some heart. And number 4 is?
To me, number 4 is Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel. Zach kind of pretty much summed up all that I was thinking, so I'm not going to, repeat everything he said and keep going. But to me, one of the best vocalists in extreme metal. I don't care if his band is deathcore or anything like that. He has the most amazing, brutal lows, and he can do everything so fast, and his highs are good.
My number 4 is Johnny Davey from Job for a Cowboy. I'd say a lot of the same reasons are the same as Phil, but I think his lyrics are a lot more complex and have a lot more thought put into them than Phil's. He talks a lot about politics and stuff like that. And if you listen to Root Nation, that's just a great album, and it's very political. It has a lot of stuff to do with that, and plus I think his screams are very, his lows and highs are very equal to each other. He has a high scream that's very, very built up. He's practiced a lot with it, and it just matches his lows just so perfectly. And I think he has a very overall balanced scream, and it's just his lows also are just so gurgly and disgusting when you hear them live in a good way. But yeah.
Just one thing about that. I was looking through the lyrics before Job for a Cowboy, and I don't know how Johnny Davey memorizes every song, all those big ass words and everything. I can't even memorize the lyrics to one song. But my number 4, I'm gonna have to be that guy, and I want to say maybe one of the biggest names in metal, Ozzy Osbourne. Just because this guy, he's one of a kind. It's Ozzy. This guy bit the head off of a fucking bat. This guy has licked piss off the side of a sidewalk. Not the side of the sidewalk, off of the sidewalk. It's not even his piss, first of all. This guy has done so many drugs to the point where he just stutters and is out of his mind. And I don't know why he's not dead yet. But he may not be the best singer, but he makes it work. He just takes his style, and I don't know, you know it's Ozzy. It's just Ozzy Osbourne. That's all I had to say.
Now I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm gonna say Rob Halford for Judas Priest is my number 3. I will, you know, shoot, but this guy is just incredible. Like when he does that like little high scream type thing, such as in like that he uses a lot on a Painkiller album. That's just amazing. Like nobody can do that like him. And this guy's influenced so many vocalists over the years that you can tell, especially in the power metal genre, that you can just really tell are influenced by Rob Halford's vocals. And he just has some of the best, you know, lines and catchy hooks and choruses ever in Judas Priest. And his vocals just fit that band. It's just incredible. And I'm not a big fan of it, but even the 70s Judas Priest, his vocals are pretty cool too. But the vocals in the 80s and 90s and whatever, they're so much better.
My number 3 is Dan from Straight From The Path. I think he's probably one of the most original voices to come out of metal hardcore in the past 10 years, very easily. His voice, he just has a really catchy voice. It sticks out from tons of other bands. He talks about like a lot of real things in the music scene. He talks about a lot of real things in the world at that. You can tell he's a very real person as a musician also, and he just writes awesome lyrics. They're not too complex or anything. They're not like political. They're not like advanced poetry or some bullshit like that. He just writes real lyrics. It's Straight From The Path. That is a very real band. I just think his voice is awesome. And also, he has, fuck death metal, Dan has the best blah ever, in my opinion. So.
Number 3, Billy Bow. Bill Bozeman from Whitechapel. Like these guys have already said, he has a one-of-a-kind low, though. You know, there's guys from, like John Huber from I Declare War and Pathology, or anyone else out there that has a good low scream. For some reason, that's the only one I thought of. Alex Kohler from Chelsea Green, he has a decent low scream. Bill Bozeman has his one-of-a-kind low scream, and generally writes some of the best lyrics ever. They're more than just death metal, I want to kill you, besides their first album. They're more than just I want you dead. They may seem like that, but they just have this meaning behind them, and that you can really see, like Damon off of This Is Exile. It's very symbolic in a way. A lot of his lyrics are very symbolic, and some of them are just straight to the point, like really just right at you, like Section 8. And like Culturalist, that guy, he's like rapping and shit in a fucking scream voice. He's rapping really fucking fast, faster than most rappers I've ever heard. He's just incredible. This guy is so angry, and he's just incredible. He's one of a kind.
Number 2, I have Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. I will take Bruce Dickinson over Rob Halford any day. I don't care what anybody says. Bruce Dickinson is so much better, and his voice is just, it soars like a damn eagle all the time, and he, like, just the way he uses his voice is just incredible. His voice is just like sex to my ears, and like that band just makes me so happy. His lyrics are pretty damn good too, and he writes some of the best vocal hooks in all of music history. And Hallowed Be Thy Name is a very good example of how he uses his voice.
My number 2 is Ricky from This or the Apocalypse. Like, this guy, he's probably I'd say he's worked on his scream and just built up a scream that's just far advanced from a lot of other screamers nowadays. He has so many different voices. He has like a very original, clean, I guess you'd say, voice. He does really good singing. He can be brutal. He can be really he can do hardcore style vocals. He could probably do even do guttural if he wants, but his voice is just really good, and he has so many different voices, and his voice just makes him very talented, and I think he should be far up on the list. So. Yeah.
For number 2, I had the man himself, the man of metal, the guy who still hasn't died, and it's quite a mystery to me, Phil Anselmo. This guy is just a stupid, buff, angry, stupid fucking redneck. But he makes it work to the best of his advantage. Like, he goes out there, stomps around on stage, just gets in your face, and fucks you. Like, that's really what needs to be said about this guy. He is one of the most aggressive motherfuckers in metal history. This guy, he's just aggression. He's what do you call it? Male, hormone, whatever it is.
Testosterone.
He's testosterone. He's the human version of testosterone. Like, his vocal abilities just go so low and brutal off of their live album, Official 101 Proof or whatever it was. Just some of his really low screams that for some reason I just think would make my fucking throat just sore for a year. And he goes as high as Shattered off of Cowboys from Hell. That song, he just reaches so many highs, and he just has straightforward lyrics, to say the least. Like, strength beyond strength. Like, just, I don't know, it's just, he talks about some things that, I don't know, he just knows how to get people fucking mad and want to kill each other.
Number 1, I have Lane Staley from Alice in Chains. This guy has the most beautiful, haunting, painful voice in all of music. It's a shame that he, made bad choices and has passed away. Bad choices. But you can tell so much pain in his voice half the time, especially when later in their career, and he still delivers some of the best vocals. Him and Jerry harmonizing is one of the best things in all of music, and he has such a gift, and his gift is amazing with vocals. It's just his blues, soulful vocal is just, man.
My number 1 is Anthony from After the Burial. Like, a lot of the reasons I would put him as number 1 is similar to why I put Ricky as number 2. But if you just listen to his music, you just, how much different, like Ricky, he has so many different voices, and he has such a scream that's just built up. You can tell he's put a lot of practice into it. And he just has so much stamina as a vocalist. It's ridiculous how he can even, like, play live one song that he does live. I don't understand how he can do that, like, with that, like, how powerful his scream is. If you listen to, like, Encased in Ice or something like that, the vocal lines are just so fast, so long, and I can't, it's, like, really hard to believe that, like, a guy can do that live. But, yeah.
A couple of people I passed up to put on my list I feel I need to mention. Anders Frieden from In Flames is such a one-of-a-kind voice. Corey Taylor from Slipknot, I think, may not be the most, stand out, like, he can do this, no one else does guy, but he really just puts a lot of aggression, and some of his rapping abilities, I guess you could say, are really cool. Who else? Alex Kohler, I guess, from Chelsea Grin, even though he can't pull off some of the stuff live. I still like the guy. But number 1, I'd have to say Lane Staley as well. But I'm going to say Lane Staley / Jerry Cantrell. Because of, like, I'm just going to go with this one album. Alice in Chains Unplugged. You get such a feeling from that album that it's just indescribable. So I'm not even going to try, but it's a one-of-a-kind feeling that you get. It's so, I don't know, just, you'd have to listen to it or watch the video. These guys come together to make such a depressing, soulful, slightly uplifting at times, but such a rainy Seattle day kind of feeling. They really, Lane Staley especially, is just one of a kind, really. I've never heard anyone that sounds like Lane Staley. no one that uses his vocal abilities like Lane Staley in Mad Season, like River of Deceit, such a calming song, but We Die Young with Alice in Chains, such a rocking, fast thing. He's just, yeah, one of the best. The best on my list because he's number one. But any other honorable mentions, I guess, really quick?
Matt Heafy.
Phil Insano.
I don't know.
Chuck Schuldiner.
I'm gonna have to throw in James Hetfield just because everyone knows what he sounds like. Like, besides the shit, he's not that bad, I guess.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Joey Belladonna. I wanted to put him in my list, but I just wasn't sure.
The dude from All Shall Perish.
Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah. Eddie.
Dio.
Dio.
Yeah.
I forgot Dio.
Fuck.
Anyways, this is our top 5 vocalists. Hope you enjoyed. Weekly Metal Review.
Ken Gallagher.
Mr. Rock.
Kurt Cobain, number 1.